Welcome to the latest episode of Branding the Experience. We discuss ways we can create environments where employees actually want to come to work and customers want to keep coming back. Hi, I'm Ken Bader, your host for Branding the Experience. I'm also the author of the book, The Formula for Business Success equals B plus C plus S, a discussion on brand, culture, and strategy alignment. And we're going to hit on all three of those today with our subject, the business development experience. Now, this came out of a recent conversation with one of my clients, a very positive conversation where we talked about their need, or they talked to me about their need for a sales culture and to be more aggressive in the sales area. And while I really appreciated the sentiment behind it, because at the end of the day, in a business, if we're not selling anything or selling to the extent where we have the positive cash flow and we could grow our business, then we're dying, and that's obvious. May seem obvious, but what's common sense isn't always common practice in business. But I talked to them about while I understand the reasoning behind it, and it makes a lot of sense, and we need to do something to grow our business and grow through our employees. Do we really want a sales culture? Fact is, and you've heard me on this show say this before, I hate the words sales culture. I hate the word aggressive when it comes to selling. The fact is nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to be or to have a product or service pushed on them. And frankly, if you look at the straight definition of sales, that's what it's all about. It's about creating a transaction, pushing a product. It's basically a focus on moving something to somebody else in exchange for money. That's why I like the words business development. If you look up the phrase or the words business and development in and of themselves, it's actually a very positive connotation. It talks about dealing with the person. It deals with developing a relationship, enhancing a relationship, finding ways to work together. It's very people focused. And I think that's where we run into a lot of trouble at banking institutions and even restaurants where, we're trying to always so-called upsell. I think we need to approach things from a business development standpoint because it helps the experience from a number of different levels. First, as an employee, any employee, do you like being told what to do? You need to sell more. No, you don't want to be done. You don't want to be told that. Of course not. But you want to be part of the process. And business development from first a cultural experience, an experience for our employees, because that's our whole tagline, creating an experience for our employees first that we can transfer over to a positive experience for our customers. If our employees are involved in a business development process, that's entrepreneurial, that's professional. As I talked to my client today, let's find a way to get our salespeople, if you want to call them salespeople, or more importantly, our frontline professionals on board with the idea that we need to develop business and ask them to develop a system in terms of, in terms of a bank. First, we're going to look at their credit report. Second, we're going to truly analyze it and look at the areas and circle them where we can help them. If somebody is paying 14% and they could switch to our service, which they'd be paying 9%, wouldn't that make sense? Frankly, to not offer somebody a service that they could clearly use is a disservice. And that's just a professionalism. So create a business development environment first for your employees and allow them to be part of the solution and build the system. And then also create an environment where your employee doesn't feel like an employee. Let them be an entrepreneur and come up with with their own system. Make them feel like the professional that they are. If you go to a doctor and you have an ailment, you're expecting him or her to lay out a number of choices for you. Well, you have high cholesterol. Here's some ways that we might be able to help that, Mr. Patient. Maybe we can change the diet. We can increase some exercise. If it's that bad, maybe we can put you on some medication. But here are your different options. You, Mr. Patient, at the end of the day, have the choice. What I recommend based on your situation is either A or maybe A and B. Either one of them will work. Same thing goes with a business development professional. You're not selling or pushing anything. You're opening up options. In the case of a bank, we'll stay on that analogy. It's like, well, your average interest rate is 17.2% of what you're paying on your debt right now. There's a few options. There's a home equity loan option. There's a personal loan option. Or maybe there's a credit card option with us that is still credit card debt but would lower your rate to X instead of Y. Maybe 12% on average instead of 17.2%. That's not selling. That's developing business, developing relationships, and professionally laying out options like a professional and not just an everyday worker to somebody that you're speaking with. Same thing in salons and spas and so forth. We don't need to upsell. Let's give people different solutions. Granted, I don't have a hair problem anymore, but when I did have hair and I went to an upscale salon or barber, they would say, this is a product that you might want to consider based on your thinning hair. I fixed my own problem with that, but they gave me a solution to my problem. They weren't selling anything. They're solving a problem that I appreciate. And the last thing, in terms of the customer, member, or client experience, we're truly branding the experience when we're creating a business development type of experience. Because then the patron, the customer, the member, the client always feels like he or she is in control. And all they're getting from you is different professional solutions and advice on how they can help themselves and not be pushed upon with a product or service. So think business development rather than sales culture. Think our own culture and our business development process. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. And here's hoping that you're branding the experience, especially in the business development function, at a very high level. Take care.